having kicked off these skillets the very first time they were ever on QVC with our next guest, we've now sold over 75,000 of them. Now, this is cast iron, like the cowboys used to cook over open flame with, but this is a finish that the cowboys couldn't even have dreamt of back in those days. This is non-stick coated cast iron. Now, what you're going to love about these pans, in addition to all the great properties of cast iron, you're never going to season these pans. Never. You're going to find that cleanup is a breeze because the inside is non-stick. You're going to choose either the 8-inch skillet, the 10-inch skillet, or the 12-inch. But I will tell you, of the three, 10-inch is the most popular and our most limited. You're going to get 4 recipes. Who do these recipes belong to? Well, first let me tell you what they are. Rosemary potato gratin, spatchcock chicken, skillet s'mores dip, and God's most perfect food, mac and cheese. The man that made these great dishes is none other than Iron Chef Geoffrey Zakarian, or as I call him, Cast Iron Chef. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you, David.
Nice
How
to
are
see
you? Nice to be back again.
Now, restaurant owner, celebrated chef, husband and father. You have 3 little ones at home,
I do,
understand.
and I cook with these all the time. These are in my house. They're on top. I don't put them away anymore because guess what? Cast iron's back.
Cast iron is back in a big way, but it's back in a way that we can work with it now and never have to season.
Look at these floating eggs. These are floating eggs. Remember, like, you have to season these, which means you have to rub them with salt and pepper and oil and be very careful and delicate. Well, there's no rules. You can do whatever you want.
So I can put acid in these.
You can put acid, and look at these gorgeous eggs. I just like to cook my eggs with the bacon and the fat from the bacon. There's no added
because
fat
you were
here
raised right.
I was raised right. And the cleanup is just, if we can just have a little look here, look at that cleanup. And guess what I'm ready for? Well,
More
I don't
food.
know. Let's put something else in there. What do you think we put a sirloin in there? What do you think about that?
About a beautiful
Let's just
steak.
put a beautiful steak in there, get some salt
Chef,
and pepper.
I'm going to ask you, since we have you here, do you like to let your beef come to room temp before you put it in
I do like to,
skillet?
yes, it has to come to room temperature. That way you'll get a nice, even, medium rare all the way through. You don't want to put a cold steak because it'll be nice and cooked on the outside and raw on the inside.
And do you season after it hits the pan?
After it hits the pan. Never want to season first. And speaking of steaks, I know you're one for steak, but I want to show you what I do with steak to finish it. I always add just a touch of butter, a touch of love, and look at the color on this. You see that color? That is a restaurant color. That's what we do. And then we take the butter that we have in here with the herbs and we just flavor it some more. We just drizzle it on top.
I saw you doing this earlier with Stacy.
And this has just been cooking here for 9 to 10 minutes.
Now that's a T-bone. That's my mom's favorite steak.
That is one of the
I will tell you, the first thing that Chef ever cooked for me, we were at the International Home and Houseware Show in Chicago, and he made a beautiful steak in this cast iron and gave everybody at the booth a bite.
And you see what's happening here. Now this is the actual, just a little of the juice. I'm just going to pour just a bit on top of that.
And they're pouring spouts on here, so you can do that easily.
Right, easy. And then what I'm going to do is I'm not going to wipe out. I'm going to go back with another baby. I call them babies.
Oh, my word.
And go right back in there. And
Look at that
now
the
flavor is coming back again, and I'm going to rebaste it. All right?
Now, I want to give you a couple of things that you should know about these skillets. They are oven safe to 500 degrees. That means under the broiler.
Under the broiler, anywhere you want to put them.
And they are PFOA free. I know that's very important when it comes to nonstick and high heat, and we worry about that. You don't worry about it with this. This is PFOA free. This is cast iron construction, no hot and cold spots. It's going to hold temperature beautifully. You never season these pans because the nonstick is designed to stay there for good. This is the 8-inch skillet.
Thank you.
This is your 12-inch, but most popular now is the 10-inch, and 500 have been ordered, and half of the 500 ordered are the 10-inch. Now, if you want the 10-inch, I have only 4,100 of those to go around. Since we first introduced this whole concept of nonstick cast iron from Iron Chef Geoffrey Zakarian, over 75,000 ordered. Add another 500 tonight. Now we're at a cool 75,500.
A little mac and cheese, perhaps?
I was hoping you'd say that.
That's for you.
Now, you give us the recipe for this.
Yes, you have all the recipes.
Along with the mac and cheese, we get your skillet s'more dip.
Yep.
Spatchcock chicken, which I like to call splat chicken. Splat chicken.
Splat chicken.
And then the rosemary potato gratin, which is just lovely.
So all of these are from the restaurant. I do everything in my restaurants in cast iron. Well, the beautiful thing about these is you remember those days where you have all the rules. Well, I have a bunch of rules here for cast iron.
What are they?
You have to season the pans.
Oh, yeah.
You can't put acid. You can't put water. You have to be very careful and put paper towels between them.
What happens to all those rules now?
Well, we just rip them up.
Rip them up.
They're gone.
Get rid of them.
There's no rules.
There are no rules with this cast iron. This is everybody's cast iron. Regardless of how skilled you are in the kitchen or not, you're going to love this cookware. You're also going to love this mac and cheese. This is Chef's recipe, and you get this recipe no matter which pan you order. Give you a little bite.
How is it? Isn't that good? Look how sizzling and gorgeous it is. And
it's absolutely perfect.
Can we take a little look?
The Iron Chef just made mac and cheese for me, and he'll give you his recipe. It's included in your purchase today.
Can I get you deep inside and
Please.
look at the pan?
Look at no sticking.
Can you see that? There's no sticking. This has been in the oven a good 30, 40 minutes. So I can literally clean that pan with a rag. And I'm going to show you how I do that in a minute. So the great thing about this is we have some gorgeous salmon here. And look at this beautiful salmon. I love to sear my salmon medium so I get that gorgeous crust. And then
do you go skin
down always.
First?
And then if you see this right here, that's the fat in the salmon. I'm going to wipe it out. And guess what? We go right back in it with salmon.
No oil.
Fat. Just the fat of the salmon. Perfection.
And you know what I'm also noticing here? That pan held temperature beautifully because the fish reacted to the heat.
Already. I'm just going to leave it alone, and look at it. It's sliding already. It's already skating with no fat whatsoever in there.
That's crazy talk. Look at how beautiful these pans are. 900 of these are gone now. Now, if you want the 10-inch pan, I have 3,800 remaining. I should also tell you, Chef, have you an iron or a metal spoon over there?
I do. Oh, here we go.
Here it is. Now, I'm not banging on this so you'll go to your local store and say, well, of course it's cast iron. I know it's cast iron. I want you to know that this is the same kind of cast iron that your grandmother, your great-grandmother, and your great-great-grandmother used. This is real cast iron. It just happens to have a 20/20 twist. It has a non-stick coating, which is PFOA-free. You're going to love this because cleanup is literally a wipeout.
Wipeout.
And
in a good way.
Exactly. And you'll pop this into a warm soapy sink if you need to get after it, if you've got something in there that's really goopy or sticky, but I'm going to find in most cases it just slides right out of the pan. That's the best part.
Can I show you that?
Is this your potato gratin?
Yeah, can we get a look at that? Look at the bubble, toil and trouble. I don't know if that's too hot to taste, but I'm going to put that right over here.
You know what, we'll let it cool. Maybe in time it'll be
just beautiful. So
and if I don't get it, I'm sure our crew will devour it, so there's no worry there.
I want to show the really incredible thing here. So I just popped this steak in here, and this is a beautiful sirloin we have, and I'm just going to show you what we do is, again, we take a rag, and you can get close in on that and watch the wipeout. How easy is that? And then
now, if Chef were doing steak and eggs, he could crack eggs in there and get busy, or do another steak.
Right back in there, a little salt and pepper. I like to salt right at the end. My steaks are room temperature, and it's already going. There's fat in that steak. That pan is perfect. That's why we love cast iron. Complete, even cooking all the time. Been around for thousands of years, and there's a reason.
Now, Chef, this will work on gas stoves, electric,
outside,
induction,
fireplaces,
barbecue grill, glass top stove.
That too.
All of them.
That too.
Now, we're going to include 4 recipe cards. If any of you have ever wanted to cook like the Iron Chef, Geoffrey Zakarian, he's going to give you a fighting chance, all right? His recipes are here for the mac and cheese. I can personally attest to the mac and cheese, delightful. So here's the mac and cheese. Skillet s'more dip, spatchcock chicken. That's where the chicken has been, where the backbone has been broken and it's flattened out, so more surfaces of the chicken meet the skillet. And then finally, rosemary potato gratin. That is, you know what? The way I describe that, a gratin is sort of like scallop potatoes, but thinly sliced. There's usually a breadcrumb or some kind of crunchy topping. Cheese, and in this case, rosemary. Delightful.
You remember that steak pan we were cooking?
I do remember it quite well.
So we just pop that right back in there, and if you can see how gorgeous that is,
do you
look
need
at
the
that.
Spoon, Chef?
Oh, look at that. Yeah, we're going to sizzle, but I also want to show you what I have right next to it. Can you see this?
Oh, my.
This is unfortunately the old-fashioned, and that's what happens. You get water in there, it's not seasoned, and that is going to be something you're going to put away and never use because you're going to be demoralized and embarrassed because that happens.
You can clean this, but there's a procedure and a process, and it takes a long time.
A long time.
Don't let You're a good person. Don't let bad cast iron happen to you.
No, so we're just taking this beautiful steak and basting it with that rosemary butter. Look how delicious that is.
1,700 skillets are gone in this show. I'm going to tell you right now, cast iron is going to outlive all of us.
Yes.
This cast iron will be here long after all of us in the studio and all of you watching are gone, right? This is the kind of cookware you give or pass down to the next generation of cooks in your family. And they pass it down to that generation after them. There's an 8-inch, a 12-inch, and a 10-inch. If you want the 10-inch, 3,400 remain, but it's also our most popular choice. This is PFOA free. Oven safe to 500 degrees. Go into the broiler with this if you like. No worries, no concerns. Works on every stovetop, including induction, because again, this is cast iron. I don't have anything metal to clang it with, but yes, it's cast iron. I can use another piece of cast iron.
I hear that, David.
Is everyone awake? It's 9:30 East Coast time. Are you awake? You are now. All right, so it all comes together for you. Your choice. We've sold how many in this show? Almost 2,000, 75,000 since we introduced them. This is your opportunity to pick up your skillet. Now, if you just tuned in, I'm David, but much more important than that is Iron Chef Geoffrey Zakarian, who's right over there. He brings us cast iron that is non-stick. He sold over 77,000 of these pans on QVC. There is an 8-inch skillet. There is a 10-inch, which is your most popular.
Yes.
3,200 left. And the 12-inch. They all have the stick handle. They all have pour spouts. And they're all ready to go. Never need seasoning. And anything you want to cook in here, you can. Gone are the old rules of cast iron. They're all out the window because this is new cast iron.
Yes, in the new cast iron, you can do a beautiful bolognese, again, on an induction oven. Any surface works, and look at the bubbling going on here. It's just beautiful. You can use tomato. You can use acid. You can use vinegar. Those rules are gone.
Deep dish pizza.
Deep dish pizza, a little bit. Look at this. Beautiful. Frittata. Let me just do a... Look at that. And let's look at that. Do you see my pan?
Ready for some wipeout?
How about a wipeout? And you know who's going to really love you? The person that does your dishes, whether it's the husband or wife or partner. You're going to love this person. And then we have a little, you know, a little brownie.
Skillet brownie.
Skillet brownie.
Make it rain, chef.
How beautiful is that?
Nicely done. Hey, Iron Chef Geoffrey Zakarian brings us these beautiful cast iron non-stick skillets. A bubbling cobbler just came out of the oven magically. The cobbler fairies brought that out of the oven. And you've got something fantastic. Don't miss out on this. We are very, very busy. 2,400 are now gone. Chef, you're back with another item?
I am, right away.
Oh, we're coming next. Okay. But before we get there, Stacy has your trivia question and answer regarding coffee.
Yeah.